Hi, welcome to our third workshop series focused around presenting SEO audits and closing the deals. My name is Clifford Almeida. I am the founder of My Web Audit. I'm also an agency owner like you. I run an agency here in Phoenix, Arizona, focused on web design, SEO, and paid ads. Everything that I am sharing in this workshop will work for your business, no matter who you serve, whether that's small mom and pop businesses or 7 and 8 figure companies like we do. Again, the idea here is this is applicable for companies focused primarily on local SEO. As I mentioned, this is the third workshop in our series. The first one we did was on how to understand what is needed to build a compelling offer that your prospect or existing customers want. And then I covered the done for you offer that we've built for SEO, and previously the done for you put your business on the map offer. The one focused on SEO is what we call higher visibility. And really it is an idea of building a productized offering that you can deliver in 90 days or less. And it has everything from the emails, landing pages, VSL, video sales copy, and all the other things that you need to be able to effectively implement an offer and a sales funnel for that offer. The second workshop was about how we can generate local SEO audits in a matter of minutes using our tool, and what KPIs to analyze in order to identify the areas of opportunity and potentially determine what effort is needed to be able to get results for your customers. This workshop is going to be focused on presenting and closing the deal. And in this workshop, I will be taking a deep dive into our V4 agency sales framework. The V4 sales framework is what I have used in my agency to close nearly 8 figures in revenue. And the V4 sales framework stands for visibility, value, vision, and validation. All right. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of what that looks like. Feel free to check out our YouTube video where I go in through the entire sales process in detail with the slide deck, as well as our blog. If you're a user who loves to consume content through reading versus watching a video and taking your time through it and taking notes, then check out our blog. I've written almost a 5,000 word blog that outlines all the questions from the intake process all the way through to positioning paid discovery once we're done with the strategy call. Okay. So think about it this way. When we get a prospect on our call, like laying down the foundations of when I go through this strategy call, someone has inquired about our services, whether they picked up the phone and given us a call, been to our website, or emailed us from some source. We're generally qualifying them and getting them to schedule a strategy call. When they schedule a strategy call, I have some information about their business. I'm running a couple of audits, and then they jump on a call. When they jump on a call, I already have an idea of why they're jumping on the call. If they haven't answered a couple of questions like, what's it costing your business not to have this issue solved? I'm generally asking a few of those questions. So I have an understanding, and they are able to give an explanation of where they currently are. And then obviously asking the right questions, they're able to then communicate where they want to be, right? And the gap in between is what the audit ultimately allows me to identify. So I am able to present it as, hey, look, you've told me where you are and where you want to go. Ultimately, in order for you to get to where you want to go, we need to solve the problems. And then I'm now delivering the value on the call by showing them the problem, right? So just know that anyone who's jumping on a call with you, they have a vision of a better tomorrow. I'll cover that in just a minute. And that they're really busy, right? So you need to ensure that when you get this time to speak to them and present your insights, that you're able to deliver true value. So oftentimes when a prospect speaks to us and they're interested in our services, they might say like, we want web design or SEO, or in the context of SEO, they might say things like, we are looking for better rankings. Truth be told, I'm able to then distill that down into 3 primary issues. That's visibility, traffic, and leads. And I'm able to tell them we can solve this problem by not just saying, hey, we can offer you SEO services. We literally are looking to show them what the challenges are. And there we're covering, obviously, their search engine ranking placements. We're looking at the local map, the local search grid of where they are versus the competition. I'm then giving them a quick analysis of their on-page SEO and their Google business profile. And then I'm focusing on giving them a vision of a better tomorrow by positioning a return on investment in our services through an ROI report. Again, something I'll cover with you in just a minute. So the next part of the sales process is to be able to give them a vision of a better tomorrow. As I mentioned to you, what we do here is we get some basic numbers from them, and then I'm able to present, in essence, to say, hey, look, based off of this, in this example here, it's a home remodeling company. We went with a conservative number of $10,000 per customer and just said, hey, based off of these numbers of you getting 1,000 visitors, and from those 1,000 visitors, you're converting 5%, which is pretty good. You get a qualified list of 30% of those leads. From those 30%, you only close 30%. So it actually equates to about 4.5 customers, and the average value is 10,000. So that's about $40,000 in revenue. Potentially, if our services can help increase a 1% conversion rate, 30% in traffic, then really this is the bottom line we can add to their monthly revenue or annual revenue, right? So by giving them a vision of a better tomorrow, they're like, yes, great. Oftentimes, a prospect or customer may say things like, hey, well, we don't have tens of thousands of dollars, or we don't have thousands of dollars really to invest in your services. And so at that point, we're able to tell them things like, look, we want to focus on low effort, high impact tasks and high effort, high impact tasks. And the really cool thing is we've analyzed, for example, your website, and we've identified challenges. And in our report, here are the challenges, and we've already prioritized them based off of how the impact would be to their SEO, right? So we're able to deal with this aspect again by presenting the report, and I'll jump into the report now in just a minute to show you what that looks like. And then it's really important that at the end of our presentation, we validate any of their objections, right? We don't look at them as someone we're just trying to close and it's a sale. We want to look at this as an opportunity to become a trusted advisor, serve them, deliver value, and obviously get paid for those services, right? And so I follow a model called CARE, which stands for, clarify, acknowledge, respond, and explore. The biggest takeaways from this part is to ensure that you clarify the objection and then you acknowledge what they're sharing, right? You don't want to be dismissive. You want to acknowledge it. And then you want to be able to respond with some sort of framework. In my case, my sales coach a few years ago taught me about the feel, felt, found model. So let's just say I was speaking to John, and John was like, I was burnt before, and I'm not sure this is worth the investment. And I'd say something like, hey, John, I understand how you feel. We've actually worked with other clients who felt the same way because they were burnt by someone who promised them the moon and didn't deliver any results. And what they found is by trusting us, usually within 60 to 90 days, they're seeing an ROI on their investment, right? Does that help? Do you have any further questions? And then explore if they have any concerns or if that has addressed the concern, and then you move on, right? So the V4 agency sales framework is what I intuitively use in my process. And I'll kind of walk you through what that looks like here in just a minute. This is a checklist for the sales process and what to do in each area. Again, check out my V4 agency sales framework if you're interested in this, okay? So I'm going to cover the key takeaways, and then I'm going to run through, in essence, a mock presentation. I'm going to condense that 25, 30 minutes down into 3 to 5 minutes, okay? So some of the biggest mistakes that we've made and we've seen other agencies make in the strategy call or the sales call or in the audit presentation call is they lack structure, right? So they don't know how to follow through. And I'll give you the example of what we do. They'd go forward and dive deep into the data, and then it leads to analysis paralysis. They're oftentimes leveraging technical jargon like SEO, domain authority, link authority, and obviously that is French or German or whatever foreign language to whoever is listening. So you want to make sure that you use terms like this is what your search visibility looks like versus things like SERP. Instead of talking about SEO, say search engine optimization, as much as possible, try to speak in terms that they can understand. And definitely do not email the report out to them ahead of the call. If they ask for it, obviously you can do that, but otherwise my goal, similar to presenting proposals or agreements, is to do a screen share, Zoom, or take it into the office and present it versus emailing it out. And even after the presentation, unless they've paid for it or they request it as part of an agreement moving forward, they generally don't get the report, because the report is just there to deliver value in showing them that we know what we're talking about and that they should trust us and have us move forward and have them move forward in the sales process, right? As far as the presentation goes, know your audience. Again, it's safe to tell them something like, hey, look, John, I understand you may want to ask questions about the data. Please let me know as we go along the way, but I just want to let you know I'm going to be presenting to you the information that I find most valuable to your business and your goals. Right? And if you have any other questions about where I got that data from or would like to deep dive into that data, then we can do that. I'm also ensuring that I'm showing versus telling, right? So when that comes to things like telling them, hey, you're not doing so well in a specific area, right? Like in this case, instead of saying like you're not ranking well for kitchen remodeling on your GBP, then I can actually show them, and that helps them, right? And I can say to them, look, your position number 5 here. Take a look at the competition, and then they can see like, oh wow, yeah, what is Peoria Kitchen and Bath doing? Or in this case, Peoria Kitchen and Bath is ranking number 1 here and here, but here they seem to be ranking well. What could be changed around there, right? Again, same sort of thing when it comes to the ranking. And I'm talking not just about the Google business, but I'm talking about the local map pack, or I'm talking about the competition here. Instead of saying things like, well, you have a poor domain authority, I'll say something like, look, domain authority is in essence your online trust based off of links and other factors. We just want to let you know that you're at a 10, and the company that may be outranking you in many different areas is at a 22. We need to work on that, right? And that helps them understand that versus generally speaking in terms that may be obscure to them. Things like we need to focus on link building, right? We also want to focus on ROI. This is why we tell them, look, we are a results-focused agency. Here are some projections, right? Like this is not something you get to hold us to, but this is what we're aspiring to over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months to be able to help get you results. Now, again, based off of the KPIs I covered in the last workshop, I'm able to determine how well we can do. For example, when we take a look at this mock company who actually exists, right? They're crushing it when it comes to reviews. When you take a look at the domain authority over here, you see most of their competition, except this company, is a little is higher on domain authority, and they have a lot of links, but looks like their links may not be that that strong as far as authority and signals go. So we would focus on telling them, look, your GBP is done well, let's optimize it, and then focus on some content and backlinks. And we know 30, 60, 90 days out, we can start getting tremendous results, both for their GBP as well as their local search rankings, okay? Then as far as offers go, as I've mentioned before, generally, once we take them to the end of the presentation, we're giving them a couple of different offers. One is and this is one 9 out of 10 times we will never even speak of it, which is, hey, here's the report and some of the research we've done. We'd be happy to do an hour or 30-minute Q&A for $4.99, and here's the report. Do it yourself. Another option is 4 to 6 pages, where we can optimize them at $250 a page. And then we have a productized offer, which is the higher visibility offer. And this ranges around $3,500 or so dollars. And it really includes some GBP optimization, on-page optimization, some basic like link building, local citations, and setting up of the analytics and some reporting, right? And then lastly, we have a local SEO retainer that goes from $800 to $2,500 a month. And that is something that we want to keep them on for obviously as long as possible. We have clients that have been on those packages for 8, 10 years now, right? And they continue to dominate in the local search, and they're happy to pay that because paid ads would be significantly more expensive, or sometimes they're still using paid ads as well. But at the end of the day, they're getting 5, 10x the ROI on lead flow coming in every month into their business. Okay. And then lastly, as far as closing the deal goes, you want to ask them if they have any questions, answer them, deal with objections. Obviously, you want to present the offer of what's next and then take them through it. By the way, if you're looking for an SEO proposal, we use Proposify. I can't share mine because I've paid for monster contracts and I have paid for other SEO templates that we use as part of our proposal that I can just share with all of you. But if you check out Proposify and backlink on these links, you'll be able to get all the resources you need in our agency when it comes to line items in an invoice or an agreement with an add-on where we do a lot of web stuff and someone's interested in SEO services. These are some of the line items where we would, do on-page optimization and offer that, creating content for them, or potentially, obviously, a productized offer of doing some GBP and potentially some citations and directories. Oftentimes, like as you can see here, our productized offer is a combination of both of these things right here. Okay, so now let's quickly walk through a mock profile, right? So I have Carolyn, you're on this call. So Carolyn, if I were to be speaking to you, I would say, hey, Carolyn, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks so much for sharing information about your business so that I could run these audits. I want to let you know that for about 60 seconds, I'm going to recap a couple of key insights about our business, just in case you didn't take a look at our playbook that I sent you. And then the rest of the 25 minutes is just going to be high value information where you're going to be able to get insights that are so valuable that you'll feel like the next 25 minutes were the best 25 minutes spent in your business or on your business this week. All right. And so at that point, I'm then telling them I've been in business for over 2 decades, number one reviewed agency here in Phoenix as far as review count on Google goes, some of our awards, accolades, some of our results when it comes to SEO, or if it was a web design service, I'm speaking to some of the web design case studies, and that's it. Then I am now jumping in whenever I can. I will generally, whenever I can, I am going to try to present whatever my insights are in a presentation view. Okay. Usually when it comes to SEO, though, this is the only report and use case where the data really applies. And so think about it this way. I'm going to show you literally in sequence how I navigate the areas here. So I'm going to go into showing versus telling, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is take them to their homepage and the primary keyword there and say, hey, look, when it comes to the local map pack for your primary keyword that you're looking to target, which in this case is kitchen remodeling, that's on your homepage, you are not in the local map pack. All right, so there's an opportunity there to solve this problem. Again, in this case, they're targeting Phoenix for their SEO, but they're located out in Glendale. So I'll speak to that. I will tell them, hey, look, when it comes to your local search rankings, your kitchen page is ranking well, but you can see here that these two companies are ranking higher. There are some on-page SEO opportunities, and I will jump to that in just a minute. So I'm going to talk about their SERP, and then I'll say the next thing I do is then move into the local map pack. So I will then show them a quick link here, and I would tie that again, same keyword, kitchen remodeling, and I'll tell them, look, this is where Phoenix is heavily populated. You're not ranking really well, but around your business here you are, but there are some opportunities, and even here you should really be dominating, right? So you have a couple of ones here, but there's no reason almost all of these shouldn't be ones. And then I'll click here and just say, here are the companies, right, that are ranking above you. And you can see here 7, 7, 8, and then you have 10. And so you see here kitchen remodel, kitchen remodel, kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel. And so I would make sure that we check the keywords, and then I tell them there's an optimization opportunity for the keywords, possibly also the categories that are in here to help crush this. Once I'm done with these two, then I'm really jumping in and speaking to them and talking about the competition. So in this case, when it comes to the local GBP, I'm telling them, for the most part, we need to build your domain authority to compete at a stronger level here. But and again, this is close to their location, but when you come out to this area, I just want to let you know that there are some other companies that are ranking well. Obviously, you're not going to compete with Yelp, but when it comes to these two companies here, you definitely want to be, for a company of their size and their online reputation being so awesome, they really need to focus on improving both their content as well as their domain authority. And literally, I would be speaking to Carolyn in a similar manner to what I'm sharing now as far as observations go. And then I'll pause and say, do you have any questions? And then if she doesn't, then I'll keep moving. And then I'll move on to like the on page and GBP. And so at this point, I would just go to the new AI insights and I'll just say, hey, look, here are some areas of recommendation. We've done the research. Here's the information of what we would actually implement. To them, that's going to blow them away because it's like, wow, like you've taken all this time to analyze my business, and that's going to allow them to have a sense of value for what I'm presenting. They're going to appreciate the insights, and then it's going to help them understand that if they happen to speak to two or three other people based off of how I've presented the information, based off of the research I did and the next steps, that I'm probably going to be the best option for them to go with. And similarly, I'll then take them through. This is not something I used to do a month or two ago. It's something I now do because of the new AI insights, where I'm going to be able to say something like, look, here are some areas of opportunity for your content, both to optimize as well as add new content. Here are some FAQs that we recommend you adding. And then we did a competitive analysis and we've looked at it. And it looks like, as far as page speed goes, like there is tremendous opportunity for your company when you talk about these type of scores. And with schema markup, it looks like you're missing some schema markup. So we highly recommend you put this on. Look, schema markup simply tells Google easily what your business is about, what services you offer, and how to find you outside of your content. And that ultimately is a GPS mapping your business to the key services when someone searches for a service related to your business. All right. So I'm then doing that. Once I'm done with that, I am then positioning it to say, hey, so look, Carolyn, based off of the information you shared, we've got some ROI projections. Let's just say hypothetically, Carolyn hadn't done that. I am then on my other monitor, I have my edit option open on my report, and I'm going to say, hey, Carolyn, let's project, because at some level I want to have a baseline. So I'll say, hey, if you don't have this information, then let's run with 500 visitors. And then I'm going to run with like a 2 or 3% conversion rate, usually 30 to 50% qualified leads. And again, 30 to 50% close rate to be conservative, and then put a lifetime value and then present these numbers back to them, because the idea here is to be able to help them understand that, look, if we are going to add $300,000 to the bottom line, investing $2,000 or $3,000 in our services a month is still going to get them nearly a 10x ROI, which is unheard of in almost any other industry, right? And really, that's the process of taking them from the presentation through to the key insights to then the ROI, and then ultimately saying, so based off of what I've showed you, how would you like to move forward? And then they may talk about what investment looks like. And generally, I will say something like, look, most companies that are in your space, they're probably spending around $1,500. If they want to be competitive, it's about $2,500. The reality is you get a bucket of hours for different tasks that we do. And the more you invest in our services, obviously, the more work we can do and the sooner you can see the results. Right. And then at that point, they have the option of qualifying and saying, well, here we have $3,000 to $5,000. Then I generally put them into our productized offer, which I just showed you, called higher visibility. If they are like, hey, we're ready to move forward, we have, anywhere from 1,800 to whatever, 2,500 a month. We put them directly into monthly recurring local SEO plan. Or if they say something like, you know what, we really don't have a budget like that, we have like $1,500. At that point, we just do some optimization both on their GBP and some of the key service pages, try to win them over to get some results in 30 or 60 days. and then hopefully they get to see some results, and then they're more comfortable, obviously, investing in our services. Okay. So two things here. One of the things I'd mentioned was if you're not looking to offer local SEO or GBP as a core service, but you do a lot of website care plans and maintenance and support, I think there's no better time than now to be able to add local SEO and GBP profile creation and optimization as a value-added service that you can upsell or cross-sell services, right? Upsell or cross-sell clients. And so here on our care plan page, when they sign up for whatever care plan they want, these are some add-ons. And then, as I mentioned, when we have a website agreement, these are project add-ons that we also promote at any given time. So for those of you that offer SEO, then great, you now know how we sell it. But another way we cross-sell and upsell some of this outside of the audits is presenting some information during discovery and then telling them, hey, look, these are some add-ons. And oftentimes they're looking to include some of this to obviously get more visibility, more traffic, more leads, and get better return on investment on their SEO. So hopefully you found this valuable. If you have questions and you want to continue to engage our group and be with a peer group of freelancers and agency owners offering web design, SEO, and paid ads, please jump in to our Facebook group, My Web Audit on Facebook. And if you enjoyed this recording and this video and are interested in other similar videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I appreciate you taking the time. As I mentioned, it's important to dream big, set goals, and take action. And the next workshop will be a Q&A, and I'm looking to get some people that are white label providers, both for large SEO projects to some offshore and onshore models that I can introduce you to if you're interested in a done with you model. I will also be speaking to Pathfinder SEO to see what it looks like to possibly get an offer for the My Web Audit community to help do on-page local SEO with you so you can learn. All right. Thanks again for your time. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to connecting with you on our next workshop. Cheers.